So Grand Rising, everyone. Thank you for jumping on. My name is Eric, coming in from Columbia, South Carolina, and this is the Blank Spot Academy. Today we're going to be showing you how to press a Santa sack on a 15 by 15 heat press. Now, if you're like a lot of people that's just getting started in sublimation, you are constricted to mentally just the small space that you have. Most crafters start off with 15 by 15 tumbler heat presses. However, I'm going to show you how you can actually extend your pressing radius and press larger items. This morning I'm featuring the Santa sacks, okay? Because we are offering the Santa sacks and the Santa sack transfers. So, if you are looking right now, you can see that this is the Santa sack transfer that we are offering. Give me a second. There you go. This is the Santa sack that we are offering, and it is a 19 by 25 inch transfer. And once again, most crafters are starting off with a smaller heat press. That's a 15 by 15. Some of them even have 16 by 20s or 16 by 24s. But you rarely find a crafter, someone working out at their home, having a larger heat press. This is going to prove to you that you can do it once you remove the fear from not knowing how to do it. So the first thing you're going to need is some space. Let's be honest. Most people are working out of their homes and they don't have the space. Their setup is geared toward what they want to do. And it's a temporary, permanent setup. So now, the first thing I recommend is that you find a high table, if you can, and take your press and move it away from the wall and place it in the center, somewhere in the center. Whether you're doing it using a dining room table or whatever the case may be, but you want to have it away from the wall. I say a high table because I have back issues and bending over is going to hurt your back. All right. So the next thing is, and I'm jumping right into this, guys. The next thing is you want to make sure you have your print. Okay. So I recommend a full print. That's what I recommend. Why? Because we sell them, of course. However, if you're going to be crafting and you don't want to spend the money for a full print, you can figure out how to splice or slice your images together. Not here to show you that. I'm just here to show you that you can press a larger print using a 15 by 15. The next thing is you got to keep an open mind. Most people don't have the tools for the job that they're wanting to do. One thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to research, right? You're going to need to research and look this word up. Euca. E-U-C-A. E-U-C-A. Euca board. This is a Euca board. You can find this generally at any hardware store. I just looked it up online, and Lowe's has these Euca boards. I think it's 48 by 96. That's 4 feet by 8 feet. 4 feet by 8 feet. I think I just saw it for like 13 or 14 bucks. Okay, so that's an investment in your business. This is a Euca board. Okay, let you guys see this. It's not that big. That means when you get the board, you may have to cut it down. Maybe the store will cut it down for you. Okay, that's the next thing you're gonna want to need. You're gonna need a Euca board. This is gonna help extend your pressing radius. Okay, that's gonna help extend your pressing radius. Now that we have our Santa sack, and now that we have our Euca board, and we have our transfer, we're gonna go to work. All right, so now, and I'm going to tilt this down so you guys can see. And I'm going to make this bigger so y'all can see. And do me a favor, man. Y'all double tap the screen. A lot of people are, we want to make sure you're able to use this item. A lot of people are selling you items, but they're not sharing with you how to use them, okay? So, I'm using some masking tape, and I'm going to show you why in a minute. You can use heat tape if you want to, but I prefer to use masking tape because I'm going to tape the top and I'm going to tape the bottom. Now, if you're using fast dry sublimation paper, you may want to tape the sides as well. But this is a tacky paper. That means that once the heat hits it, the heat's going to activate. It's going to stick. So I want to secure the bottom and the top. Okay, I'm going to secure the bottom and the top. here we go. This is where I'm at right now, okay, guys? So I've secured the bottom and I've secured the top. It's just wrapped underneath, okay? Now, I'm gonna take my yardstick. I'm gonna take my yardstick and I'm gonna take a pen or a pencil and I'm gonna just estimate the center of this transfer. And I'm just gonna draw a light line down the center, just light enough for me to see. Then I'm gonna do it again across the width. So the length and the width, I'm gonna draw an imaginary line, or draw a light line, excuse me. Now I have a grid, okay? I now have a grid. Those are gonna be my pressing areas, okay? So now, let's go to the press. Y'all ready? All right, give me 1 second. Adjust that down. All right, now let's go to the press. Now, once again, as you guys can see, that is a 15 by 15 heat press. That's a 15 by 15 heat press. I apologize for the lighting. Trying to get this right. Okay, so as you can see, this is a 15 by 15 heat press, okay? So now, here is my Euchre board. And I have protected my substrate, which is my Santa sack, with butcher paper on top of the Euchre board, because sometimes that Euchre board can stain and can end up being brown. Now you want to make sure you have heavy pressure, okay? Heavy pressure. That means you're going to have to adjust your heat press because you now have a Euchre board on here, but you also want to make sure you have heavy pressure. I do not have any padding on the Euchre board. The Santa sack is directly on top of the Euchre board. Now, remember those lines I drew, that grid I drew? That grid is going to be where I press first, okay? And I'm gonna make sure that I slide this off as far as I can to the side, so when I make my second press, it's going to overlap. It's gonna overlap. So guys, if you're just jumping on, do me a favor, drop your city and your state in the comments. Make sure you like and share this video, and also save it for a reference. Save it for a reference, okay? In case you want to go back and look at this again. So I have my temperature set at 400 degrees for 60 seconds. Why do I have it 60 seconds if I know my paper can press, have a good press at a lower temperature and less time? Well, this is a Santa sack, and every substrate is different. Every substrate is different. So this is a thick type of sack, okay? So I want to make sure all the ink transfers into this sack. All right? So I'm going to do approximately 4 presses, okay? I'm going to do 4 presses. And when I press, the next press I use, or next press I make, I'm going to overlap. All right, I'm going to overlap. Now I want you to keep in mind, right here where I have this taped, there is a string. So I'm not going to press that part. I'm just pressing right below the string. That way I don't have any uneven pressure. Okay. Remember, I have medium to heavy, actually heavy pressure. Now I'm going to slide the Euchre board. All right. I'm going to slide the Euchre board, but not so much to where the sack is hanging off. I don't want the sack to hang off the board. And I want to make sure that I hit the overlap, and I want to make sure that I hit the back and the top, okay? So now, here's the deal, guys. Most of y'all are not doing larger products because you don't have the right tools. And the first thing that many people say is, well, I only have a 15 by 15. Well, this is not the first time that people have done this. People have been doing this and they figured out how to do it. The thing that I encourage you all to do is to do some research. Do some research. There's lots of videos out there on social media. There's lots of people that you can actually reach out to if you decide to do that. But I recommend you do your research first. Searching on social media on how to actually press larger items on smaller presses is something that's going to be out there, that's available, because there's going to be a lot of crafters out there that don't have the ability to either, they don't have the space for larger presses, or they don't have the finances for larger presses. So I'm turning this Euchre board around, okay? Turning the Euchre board around. And I know for a fact that I probably missed some because I have some on this board, so I probably should have went a little bit closer to the front. So I'm gonna fix that because I don't want to end up looking like I should have been more on the tape. That's what I'm saying. Okay. So this is the third press. Okay. Anybody have any questions or anybody have any comments they want to share? Has anybody ever used the Euchre board? Type a number 3 in the comments if you guys have used a Euchre board or you currently have a Euchre board. You got to ask yourself, what is stopping me from doing larger presses? What's stopping me? This works just as great. This works just as great for a 16 by 20 or 16 by 24 as well. You want to get a larger board so you can extend your pressing radius. So as far as our printer, we have a wide format printer, a large format printer. We have an Epson SureColor F6370. And if you check the item that I have pinned, that is our transfer that we're actually selling, okay? That's the transfer or the transfers that we're actually selling. So we're not here to show people, I'm not here to show people how to splice the transfer together. I'm here to show you how to use our transfer on your press. Sanita, how are you? Thanks for jumping on. Once again, if you want to get this board, the name of it is Euchre, E-U-C-A, Euchre board. And you can go to any hardware store. You cannot print larger on a 170. You cannot print larger on an F170. Y'all got to do your research, guys. And this is not a jab at anybody, but an F170 is a small format printer. The biggest you're gonna be able to print is 8.5 inches wide, and you can't print 8.5 inches because you got to think about the printing radius. We're not talking about splitting images. Unfortunately, I'm not here to train you on how to split the image. We are a business that sells sublimation transfers. And as a business that sells sublimation transfers, I am here to show you how to use my transfer. I don't mean any harm. But I'm on my TikTok shop, and this is a TikTok shop live, and I'm selling products. So I'm going to answer as many questions as I can. However, I'm not here to do a tutorial on how to splice. I'm not here to do a tutorial on how to splice images. I'm here to show you as a crafter or a business owner that you can be more productive. You can be more productive if you use the tools and the resources that you have available for you. Splicing designs, splitting designs, piecing designs together, that is cool. That's cool for crafters. Right now, I'm only talking to people who want to make money. I'm talking to people who are in business, and I'm talking to people who want to be more productive with their time. So if you guys are just jumping on, my name is Eric, coming in from Columbia, South Carolina, and this is the Blank Spot. We are a sublimation blanks and supply company, and what I'm doing right now is I'm pressing a 19 by 25 inch image on a 15 by 15 inch press. That's what I'm doing, okay? So we're gonna reveal this together, all right? That's the ink release. Any questions? I did this on a 15 by 15 heat press using a Euchre board. Many of you out there don't have a larger press. Many of you don't have a larger press. Using a Euchre board is going to extend your radius. Now, I'm not here to sell the Euchre board. I'm selling transfers for this 19 by 26 inch Santa sack. That's what I'm doing. And for the people who say, hey, you know what? I can't press on my press. I can't press that on my press. And you can press it on your press, And the only reason you cannot press it on your press is because you believe that you cannot and that you don't have the tools that you need. So, guys, thank you for jumping on. I appreciate it. My name is Eric, coming in from the blank spot. Like I always say, guys, when you know better, that's when you have the ability to do better. And the only knowledge that's powerful is properly applied knowledge. Check out the links in the description to actually purchase the transfers. Thank you.